I've never posted before, but after reading a ton of highway horror stories on here, I realized I have one of my own that I've never really talked about publicly. I'm not claiming anything paranormal happened. In fact, the opposite. Everything about this was horrifying specifically because it was all completely real. This happened in December 2022 on Highway 41 in Wisconsin. I was driving home from a late shift at the hospital. It was around 12:45 a.m. and snow had just started to fall. The roads weren't terrible yet, but it was that annoying fine powder that blows sideways across the asphalt, making the whole world look blurry and unfinished. For context, I drive a 2009 Subaru with more rust than paint, and at that time I was dead tired, hadn't eaten all day, and felt like I had sand behind my eyelids. All I wanted was to get home, take off my scrubs, and sleep. I got onto the highway at the North Avenue on-ramp, which is normally busy even at night, but this time it was empty. Just me, the snow, and whatever was playing quietly on the radio. I didn't see the white truck until it was already pacing me. About 10 minutes into the drive, headlights appeared behind me, bright ones, the kind that looked like someone strapped a sun to the hood. The truck got close enough that I could see it was an older Ford F-150 with patched paint and a roof rack that looked handmade. What really threw me off, though, was that he kept matching my speed. If I sped up, he sped up. If I slowed down, he slowed down. At first I brushed it off as coincidence. Maybe he was tired too. Or maybe we were both following the same flow of traffic. Except there wasn't any traffic. It was just us. Then he began drifting toward me. Not swerving, not losing control. Just edging over. Deliberately. I tapped my brake lights, not enough to slow down, just enough to signal, "Hey, I'm here." He responded by flashing his brights at me. Once, twice, 3 times, super fast. I remember saying out loud, "Nope. Absolutely not." I changed lanes. He followed instantly. I tried not to panic. People drive like idiots all the time. And maybe he was one of those self-appointed, road safety vigilantes, who think everyone else is drunk. But then he pulled up beside me, window down, waving wildly. Not friendly waving, urgent waving. He pointed at my car, then made the universal, pull over, gesture. Shake hand downward, point to shoulder, nod aggressively. I rolled my window down about 2 inches, just enough to yell through, nothing more. "What?" I shouted. He yelled something back, but the wind made it impossible to hear. All I caught was, "Your car, Sparks, stop, dangerous." He sounded frantic. My stomach dropped. I checked my dashboard. No lights, no weird noises. The car felt normal, but I've had enough crap cars in my life to know that sometimes things fail without warning. So I actually considered stopping. That was the worst part. That instinct to trust a stranger because he seemed concerned. But something about his face made me hesitate. He wasn't scared. He wasn't frantic. He was excited. Eyes too wide. Smiling way too big for the situation. Then he did something I still don't understand. He held up a rope. Just lifted a length of thick rope into view like it was casual. I jerked my eyes back to the road and floored it. He leaned out his window and screamed something, but I wasn't about to ask for clarification. The Subaru can barely hit 80 on the best days, and the snow wasn't helping. But adrenaline gave me some kind of temporary mechanical blessing because the car actually took off. The truck followed immediately. He was inches from my bumper, swerving side to side, flashing his brights non-stop. I kept my eyes on the exit signs, trying to remember which ones had gas stations or at least lights. Finally I saw it. Exit 57, Lomira. There's a 24-hour quick trip right off that ramp. Cameras everywhere, usually at least a couple of semis parked outside. I signaled hard. He cut me off. The bastard literally swerved in front of me so I couldn't reach the exit. I slammed the brakes. The Subaru fishtail-ed and nearly spun out. The truck slowed too, perfectly in control, staying just a few feet ahead of me like he was herding me. I had two options. 1. Take the next exit, miles away, or 2. Do something really stupid. Naturally, I chose the stupid thing. I jerked the wheel and cut across the rumble strip, nearly missing the guardrail, and dove down the exit ramp. The car skidded the whole way, but I was too terrified to care. Behind me I heard tires screech. He tried to follow. He couldn't. He overshot the ramp and had to continue down the highway. I didn't wait to see if he planned to loop around. I barreled into the Quick Trips lot, parked crooked across two spaces, and ran inside. To their credit, the two employees didn't ask questions. I must have looked like a raccoon fleeing a dumpster fire. I told them someone tried to run me off the road. The older cashier, maybe late 50s, name tag said Jim, just nodded like this was something he heard every Tuesday. He came around the counter, checked outside, and locked the door. "We get weirdos out here sometimes," he said. "Never chase people from the highway though. You call 911. I did. To the dispatcher's credit, they took it seriously and said they'd send a deputy. I stayed inside, shaking so badly I spilled half my hot chocolate. While waiting, one of the truckers who'd been sitting outside came in. He asked Jim, loud enough for me to hear, "Hey, did you see that guy circle the lot?" I swear my heart stopped. "That white pickup?" Jim asked. "Yeah, old Ford." He slowed down by the diesel pumps, looked like he was scanning the cars. Then he took off. I felt sick. "Did he come back?" Jim asked. Truck driver shrugged. "I only saw him once." The deputy showed up about 15 minutes later. I told him everything. He didn't interrupt once. When I mentioned the rope, his expression changed. Not shock, more like recognition. "We've had reports about someone doing the 'your car is sparking' trick," he said quietly. "Usually it's to get people to stop on the shoulder. Usually women." "Great. Just great." He asked if I could describe the guy. "White, maybe late 30s, beard, baseball cap." That's all I got. "It was dark." "That matches," he said under his breath. "Did you see any plates?" "No. He was too close most of the time." He exhaled. "We're tracking someone along this stretch who's been trying to get drivers to pull over. We think he pretends to be helpful so people don't fight it. Once they stop, well, they don't stay long." "What do you mean?" He hesitated. "We've had 2 assaults and at least 1 attempted abduction." My legs gave out a little. I grabbed the counter to steady myself. "But you got away," he added quickly. "That's what matters. You did everything right." I didn't feel like I had done anything right. I felt like I had barely outrun something awful without even understanding what it was. He took my statement, gave me his card, and asked Jim if they could pull camera footage. They did. The truck appeared on camera at 1:12 a.m. It slowed in front of the store, circled once, paused behind my Subaru for about 5 seconds, then sped off. It didn't stop, didn't park, didn't come inside, just looked. I still get chills thinking about that. I drove home only after the deputy promised to patrol the area for a while. Jim gave me a free hot chocolate for the road and told me to call if I ever needed a place to wait again. Here's the part that still keeps me up sometimes. About a week later, the sheriff called me back. They never found the guy. Not the truck, not the driver, nothing, but they did find something else. Another woman reported the same truck following her near Oshkosh 3 nights later. Same description, same tactic, waving, yelling that something was wrong with her car, trying to make her pull over. She didn't. A day after that, a car was found abandoned near one of the rural exits, driver's door open, purse on the seat, footprints leading into the woods. They still don't know if it's related, but the timing lines up a little too neatly. This wasn't a ghost story. There was nothing supernatural, nothing paranormal hiding in the snow. Just a man who wanted me to stop, a man who wanted me alone, a man who wanted something so badly he chased me off a highway at 1 in the morning. And the truth is, he's still out there, so if you ever find yourself driving alone on a quiet highway, and someone tries to wave you down, or tells you something's wrong with your car, do not stop. Drive to somewhere public, somewhere bright, somewhere with witnesses, because that night on Highway 41 taught me something I'll never forget. Sometimes the scariest monsters on the road are driving right behind you.